Hello, welcome to the latest episode of Harmonious World. My name is Hilary Robertson and I'm delighted to be joined by harmonica player Mathias Heise. We'll be discussing his Quadrillion project, and this album is definitely on my list of top albums for this year. It's a bit of funk, a bit of rock, a bit of jazz with a wide range of grooves. There's some adventurous harmony and some chromatically dense melodies, and the album ends with Hopeful Monsters, which has some added horns. So I'm starting with Bad Luck and I'm finishing with an extract from Hopeful Monsters. I'm really looking forward to interviewing Mathias, and I hope that you enjoy listening to this conversation. Hey, how are you?
Well, thank you. I'm good, very good. Just ordinary Monday here in Denmark. I've been doing a bit of big band arrangements, and now I'm gonna rehearse with the band later, so I'm preparing that also.
Very good. Yeah, thank you for joining me. I really appreciate you giving me the time for Harmonious World.
Yeah, no problem.
I love this album. It's amazing.
Thank you so much. That's great to hear.
You must be really proud of it.
Yeah, definitely. I like it very much. I'm very satisfied with it actually. And it's one of those albums that you can actually listen back to without, being filled with regrets and stuff you would like to do otherwise.
Sure. Yeah, it really is. It's got everything going on, and although it's kind of got this funk rock thing going on, there's a complexity about it as well. This is not a simple, bit of funk, is it?
No, definitely. There's a lot going on with the harmonies and with the melodies, and also we work a lot on the rhythmical side of it. We work with breaks and odd measures and groupings of rhythms. So we try to both keep it fresh and interesting, metrical, and also harmonically and also melodically at the same time.
Yeah. Tell me about the composition process. How did that go about? How did you compose all these pieces?
Most of the pieces are actually composed by me, or I think they all are, except one of them which I started out with the guitar player together, and I think he made that's the one called Carsten Keller. He made the riff doodle-doody, 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 and then I made a melody line for it, and a bass line, and then we also kind of worked together on the B part, and then I did the rest. So mostly it's here in my studio. I'm sitting and writing, and mostly I actually write the pieces on paper. I'm sitting with Sibelius, and then I write, I compose the pieces with the notes. So and I experiment a lot with different harmonies and what you can do with this melody and stuff like that. So I'm usually bringing the tunes to the band, normally with a piece of paper and the music on that, and then we will arrange it together in the rehearsal, and they will always have a lot of ideas to breaks and to grooves and to new sections, and sometimes they'll suggest a new section, and then I'll go home and then I'll compose this section with the ideas from the rehearsal, and then I'll bring it to them again. So it's like this back and forth trial and error, organic process.
Yeah, and as a quartet, you obviously work together quite a lot.
Yeah, we've been playing for 10 years, so we've worked for many years together.
Yeah, that comes across, I think, because there's a sense of cohesion that you all kind of know what you're doing, and you fit in together, weave in and out of each other.
Yeah, that's definitely true. We have found our roles in the band. We have found a sound that is like the space where we all meet, like in maybe in a Venn diagram or something like that. You have this common area where our interests and our musicality meet, and that's just the band and the music. And then I do many other things. The other guys also do other things, and also musically. But this is, as you say, a very together group where we've gotten to know each other a lot over these past 10 years, and we know what each other's strengths are, we know what the weaknesses are, and we know like what we want as a band.
Yeah, because you're a harmonica player predominantly. Yeah. So how
definitely.
Yeah. So but you did keys as well on this, yeah?
Yeah, I play all the keyboards in this band also, but yeah, predominantly I'm definitely a harmonica player, and I started out playing the harmonica as my second instrument. Actually, the first instrument was violin back when I was 5 years old, and then I played that for 3 years, and then I dropped it, and then I actually picked up the harmonica right after when I was 8 years old. And I started playing that a lot, just for my own enjoyment. I had a harmonica in my pocket all the time, and so I was playing in the school and at the bus stop and wherever I got to. And then I started playing the keys a couple of years after, like when I was 10 years old, maybe 11. And in the beginning, I was mostly playing synthesizers. Actually, I didn't start out on the piano. Also, we didn't have a piano. But I had bought a little, micro Korg synthesizer, and I was sitting and listening to George Duke's solos and trying to recreate his lines and his way of using the pitch bend. So these two things kind of went parallel, and also I used the piano a lot to visualize the notes when I was playing the harmonica, because it's an invisible instrument, and you have to kind of find a way to know where you are. So yeah, and then I just I kept going, and I got into an advanced music education alongside the high school, and then I got after that I got into the conservatory in Copenhagen. But actually, after a year, I had a lot to do outside of the conservatory. I had many gigs, and I had bands, and I have had a lot of projects, and I couldn't really get it to match the teachings and the classes in the conservatory. So I actually dropped out, and since then I've basically been just living from playing music.
Very good. How was your lockdown? Because Denmark was an interesting, you had an interesting way of dealing with the lockdown, I think. So how was yours in terms of, suddenly stopping doing gigs, and what did you do?
Yeah, well, we dealt with it in Denmark, being a big welfare state, in a quite, I wouldn't say comfortable way, but it was definitely not as stressful as I think it was in many other countries. I didn't have to take another job, for instance. I could apply for compensation from the government. So financially, I actually was okay. And that just meant I could spend the time composing and practicing new ideas on my instrument. I also think I got my pedal board going. I was experimenting with different sounds and pedals on the harmonica. And then, of course, there were some streaming concerts. People were experimenting a lot with streaming concerts. And I did, a bunch of those, and also found out that, it was great to do something instead of just sitting at home. But also it's not really anything that comes close to playing a live concert.
No.
So that was also, I guess, a good lesson that, it's actually important that we are in the room together when you are playing a concert.
Yeah, it's really interesting, isn't it? I've done a lot of these interviews with people who've said, streaming gigs was great because at least we could do something, and it was at least something to perform, but it's not the same. And I think it made us all realize, as musicians and as audiences, that we need to be in the room together.
Yeah. Definitely. It's so important and so magical, the thing that happens when you have a live audience. It's such an important part of music. So it was just a big relief to get out of that situation and to be back on track now, playing lots of gigs and having people come out without being afraid anymore.
Yeah, indeed. You talked there about a pedal board with your harmonica. How on earth does that work? How do you connect it? Do you plug into the actual harmonica?
No, I connected via the microphone.
Ah, right.
So the microphone is going into a pedal called Mixing Link, which transforms the XLR signal to a jack signal, which goes through the effect chain and then back into the same pedal. And then there's an XLR, a microphone output, but also a jack output if you want that. So it's actually the sound from the microphone that goes into the pedals.
Oh, right. Okay, that makes perfect sense, because I couldn't understand how you would do that. So because it's interesting, because I'm a saxophone player, and I've played around at various times with mics, that attach and all of this sort of stuff, and they never work, and they never sound as good as playing the saxophone into a microphone, and then you can do whatever you like with the sound once it comes out of there. But you got to have it coming out of the instrument into the microphone.
Yeah, and also it is a special challenge to apply pedals to the harmonica and also the saxophone, I would imagine, because pedals are just often made for guitar, so they actually don't work the same way with such a different sound source. No, so I've bought some pedals that didn't really work with the harmonica, and I found out how important it is to go down. Luckily I found a great shop in Copenhagen, a small shop that only deals with effect pedals, and I think he survives the pressure from the internet companies, because he can you can go down there, try the pedal, and he can give you a lot of expert advice, and he's just helped me tremendously find some good pedals for the harmonica. Yeah.
This album, Quadrillion, who was it produced by?
This album is actually produced by ourselves. We, as a band, we've been producing, and also we've had a guy called Lars Nissen, a sound engineer, who's been mixing the album, and of course in that process also producing, applying effects to the different tracks. But we've spent a lot of time as a band producing the music.
Right. So are you playing this now out in Denmark, and are you planning to move further afield with it?
Yeah, we are playing concerts in Denmark now, and upcoming is of course the Copenhagen Jazz Festival, which is a big event,
Yeah.
and we'll play there a couple of times. And yeah, then we are definitely looking for some touring. Hopefully this maybe this fall, or maybe next year. We would like to go to Germany both, and also Scandinavia, and also definitely the UK. We've been playing in the UK before. So yeah, it would be great to kind of explore our neighboring countries a bit more.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, let me know when you're coming to the UK, because I definitely want to come and hear this live, because I just love this album. There's something about it that just kind of got me completely as soon as I heard it. It's fantastic.
Fantastic. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks so much.
Okay, well done. I'm so glad we were able to have a conversation like this. So thank you for joining me. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome, Hilary, and thanks so much for the great questions.
I really hope you enjoyed listening to my conversation with Mathias Heise, and his album Quadrillion is out now on Giant Sheep Music. All the links are in the show notes, so please do check out what he's up to, and you can also connect with me on social media. As I said at the start, this is now Hopeful Monsters from Quadrillion, which is a track I absolutely love. And I'm playing the whole thing all the way through because I love this track. It was interesting talking to Mathias, and when he mentioned the magical thing you get in front of a live audience. And I think that we're all starting to remember that. I hope you're managing to get to some gigs, and there's lots of exciting stuff going on out and about. I've got some great podcast interviews lined up that I hope you will enjoy listening to. If you've got any suggestions of people I should speak to, please do send them through to me. All the social media contacts work. And I look forward to hearing from more and more people about how we can all make this world a little more harmonious by sharing what we're good at. Thank you for listening to the latest episode of Harmonious World. My name is Hilary Seabrook, and it's a great delight to bring this series of discussions with musicians and composers and writers and all sorts of people to you. Obviously, there's no point in having a podcast if people aren't listening, and I'm very grateful to my listeners for doing so. Thanks also to Joe English for composing and performing this new theme tune. So wherever you get your podcast, you can leave a review. You can share this with your friends and family, either as a link or on social media and that sort of thing. I'd be really grateful for that. Don't forget that you can subscribe now. There's a link wherever you get your podcasts. So have a great week, and please remember why I started this, which is just to try and make the world a little more harmonious. Thanks for listening to Harmonious World.